brilliant one you'll be singing along to this Thursday morning. I'm Lisa with you till 12. Now, maybe you are partial to a little bit of Danish hygge, or maybe you swear by acupuncture. Maybe you're mindful, or perhaps you have no clue what I'm talking about at all. Well, my next guest has tried them all and is here to lift the lid. Kay Hutchison, on the face of it all, had it all. A high-flying career, a loving husband, the full 5-star lifestyle. But one day she realised, in her words, she felt empty and unhappy. So Kay set out to begin a new phase of life, leaving her husband, holidaying in the French Riviera behind. She joins me now to talk about her new book, My Life in 37 Therapies. Kay, good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, this sounds interesting. Now, when did you come to the realisation that perhaps you were having a bit of a midlife crisis?
It was kind of long after, actually, a couple of years, I think. I sort of had been along to the doctor to get some tests done, because when I went back home, I really thought, oh God, there's something really not right here. I don't know what it is. And they started doing tests and all the rest of it. But I just thought, no, there's something much bigger going on here, because everything seemed to be in a bit of a muddle, and my work started to sort of go wrong as well. So it was only looking back a couple of years later that I realised that, you know, the menopause, it really does send your hormones spinning. And it does a lot of things to you physically that I think make, panic attacks and, hot flushes and all those sort of things. But yeah. I think that was part of it. But there were so many things going on. I'd lost my mother to cancer. And then just a few months later, I found a lump on my husband's neck, and he ended up having to go through radio and chemo. And of course, you're thinking, oh God, is he going to die as well? Anyway, I realised I'd been through a hell of a lot, and I think it's only looking back that you realise, oh, it was kind of a classic midlife crisis.
Yeah, but at the time you haven't got that distance, have you? And hindsight's a wonderful thing. But you decided to try 37 therapies to see if you could find an answer to what was going on in your life. I mean, that's an interesting take on it, Kay.
Yes, well, I mean, again, it's looking back, because one of the other things that I did when I got back from the south of France, and I literally left him and went to catch an early flight home. I mean, it was that sort of dramatic.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I felt compelled at the time. But when I got back home, I realised it was going to take a while for me to get any help from the GP. So I actually talked to a couple of friends about, what sort of things could I do? And a friend at yoga said, oh, try a bit of massage. That always calms you down, and it stops you having these panic attacks. And one thing led to another. Someone would, giving me a massage, would say, oh, you should try this. You should try reflexology, which is massage of the feet. Or you should go and try acupuncture. The pins help the sort of energy flow around the body in a really healthy way if there's anything stuck. And of course, I was feeling completely stuck. So friends would recommend things, and then I just started getting interested in it and reading up about it and getting more and more involved. Sometimes I was actually doing 2 therapies at the one time, or maybe even more. But it's only looking back when I counted them up, and this is years later, and I thought, oh, I should write a book about this. But I thought, I'll call it 30 therapies. And then my friend counted them up, and she said, "Okay, there's 37." So it wasn't a plan. It's only looking back that I put it all together.
Right, and it's called From Acupuncture to Voodoo, a midlife crisis embraced, one bizarre therapy at a time. And some of those therapies, I mean, you've mentioned a few there, but we've got card readings there, we've got colonic irrigation, past life regression. Did you find out anything interesting there, Kay?
Well, to be honest with you, it didn't really work for me, because it just seemed to me that I was in a scene out of the Gladiator film. And I was thinking, oh, perhaps it's just because I saw the Gladiator film. But actually it was the most wonderful experience, because you really are taken into a sort of deep hypnotic trance. And I certainly, after it, felt really good. There are lots of things you can do with past life regression. It's not just about going back to your kind of early life. Apparently there are lots and lots of different lives you can go back to. But I mean, you never know. I might try it again. But I did feel fantastic after the end of it, but I did think it was a bit like biblical times, and
right.
I was hoping that Russell Crowe would pop up any minute.
Well, that would have been nice. That would have
Yes.
been, yeah, definitely.
Lovely.
You've written voodoo, never the answer, which is good to know. Any therapies you've tried that have stuck?
Actually, it's the. I suppose there's two things that are connected. The yoga is just the most incredible all-round good thing for health because not only is it physical and it's gentle, so you don't have to be doing all this pounding at the gym, but it's really, really good for toning your muscles and exercising every bit of your body slowly. But it's also very good for mental focus and also giving your brain a rest from the chaos that's out there in the rest of your life. So it's like a real restful thing. And it's quite spiritual. If you get a
Yeah.
really good teacher, they can actually tell you what yoga is really all about. And it's about how you are in the world and how you relate to other people. It's the most marvelous thing. So
It's
that and meditation stuck.
meditation as well. It sounds like you had an interesting time and it's all written down. Kay, thank you so much for sharing with us this morning on BBC Newcastle. Kay Hutchinson there. From acupuncture to voodoo, a midlife crisis embraced, one bizarre therapy at a time. And there really are some quite bizarre therapies to read about in that book.
Hello, I'm Stephen Petty, and from 10 p.m. this evening, I want to find out what was the first band you ever